back, 5th grade, to day 2. And today we're going to talk about the instruments in our classroom. We have 4 instruments to choose from when we get to orchestra. We have the violin, the viola, cello, and the double bass. So in this video, I'm going to play a little bit for you these instruments and kind of give you an idea of what they sound like and what to expect when you join orchestra in 6th grade. We're going to start first with the violin. So the violin here is the smallest of the instruments, and it also is the highest pitched one. Normally that's how music instruments work. The smaller the instrument, the higher the pitch. Not digital instruments, but acoustic instruments, or instruments that aren't digitized, right? Or electric. But the violin is very specific to a sound that it makes because it has these 4 strings that are much higher than the other strings in the instruments. And of course you know that. How we play this is we shoulder it using a shoulder rest in the back, and we place it under our left side chin above our left shoulder. And if you use the shoulder rest correctly, you can actually hold it in place without your hand. And that's what the shoulder rest is there for, to make it nice and comfortable and to lift it up a little bit higher from your shoulder, so that way you're not going to use your shoulder and your chin to let it slide around. This soft foam in the back of it here keeps it from moving around, and the shape of it keeps it nice and comfortable. Now, you can play it a couple different ways. You can use your plucking, or of course you can strum some things. The bow. So that's the violin. Next up, you have the viola. This is actually a larger version of the violin, or rather I should say the violin is a smaller version of the viola, because the viola was built first. The violin literally means small viola. So anyways, the viola is a little bit larger in size than the violin, and it's played the same exact way. Now this specific viola is actually the same size as a full-size violin that I played earlier, because all our orchestral instruments come in different sizes based on your height and arm length. They can grow with you, if you will. Now, this is a 14-inch viola. What I had earlier was a full-size violin. The viola is the only instrument measured by inches when you go to rent or purchase one, based on your height and arm length, whereas the violin, cello, and bass are based off of your height, arm length, and they're going by quarter sizes, 3/4 sizes, full size, half size, and so on, or fractions of sizes. Now, the viola is played the same way with plucking and strumming and bow, and here's what it sounds like. Next, let's try the bow. Bow. And that's the viola. All right, up next we have the cello. Now don't be alarmed, this is quite large, but this is a full-size cello. Remember that all our string instruments luckily are built in different sizes based on your size. Now, the neat thing about this is that it's played on the floor while you're seated, using this end pin to keep it off the ground. Now, not only is it played on the ground, it's also played between your knees, not on your shoulder, with the instrument going across your chest like so. The neck goes over your left shoulder with the C peg, the lowest peg here next to your left ear. Now, I'm going to adjust a little bit so I can play it, and you can do the same playing that you do in the other string instruments I showed earlier. There's plucking, also known as pizzicato. Bow. We're going to play with a bow now on the cello. And that's the cello. And then finally, we have our bass, the double bass. This can be played either standing up, we call it the stand-up bass, or sitting on a stool. Now you could try sitting on a chair, but it'll be too low and the bottom of the instrument will just be hitting the ground and will not be comfortable. Start sliding around and you'll break it. So the double bass is the lowest or biggest of the 4 instruments, obviously. This is a half-size bass. They can go down to an 1/8 size. We have a couple quarter sizes here. We don't have any 3/4 or full-size basses on this campus, but they do in the junior high and high school level because obviously we don't have kids that tall. I'm not even that tall. This is probably my best size here. Now, I can't show you in the video, but you can see other ones. There is an end pin as well on this bass, and it is played between your legs as well. The back of the instrument is actually against my left lap, which is risen up high because my foot is on the little horizontal bar of the stool. And so my knee's coming out to hold it against my lap, so I have better angled on the bass to be able to reach around to the G string, the highest string here. So let's hear what the bass sounds like. So you can play really high, or you can pluck and play really low. Now, there are 2 different styles of bow that you could use for this one. The other 3 instruments only use a French style bow, while the bass can be used with a French style bow or a German style bow. French style bow. German style bow. Now, based on what you learned for these 4 instruments, for your assignment, tell me one thing you did not know about one of the instruments. Tell me one thing that you didn't know about the violin, viola, cello, or bass. Maybe you have an unanswered question. Please make sure you fill out the Google form for your assignment and turn it in as soon as possible. I can't wait to hear from you.